Yeah, so I want to share with you a message of feeling deprived. So my question would be, have you found yourself feeling deprived lately from foods that you're trying to avoid that you know are bad for your health? And I wanted to share a little experience that I've had several times, and even recently. Of course, we know that 4th of July just passed, and for many people, a major holiday like that is actually an excuse to drink and eat to the full, and foods that we don't ordinarily eat. And so we see a lot of foods coming and going in front of our nose that generally we probably don't see all week or all month or until the last holiday, right? So, I found myself in the morning waking up one day, and all of a sudden I just had this overwhelming sense of anxiety. And in fact, so much it was almost like I was shaking inside, thinking, wow, I've managed to remove certain foods from my diet and, been feeling very at peace with that. But as you know, with each day brings new challenges. And this one particular day, I knew that I was very, very challenged with the thoughts of eating foods that I hadn't eaten for a long time. And so my husband even noticed, and he looked at me and he said, "Renee, are you okay?" And I said, no, I'm not okay. And he said, "What's the matter?" And I said, I just, I feel like I'm so limited with what I'm eating. Like I'm shaking inside. And I felt so restless. I was just thinking, maybe, if I could, if I had the physical strength, I'd probably run up the biggest, tallest hill I could find, to try to shake off some of this anxiety. And so, I thought to myself, Renee, just calm down and, look for something healthy to eat. And, as I opened up the refrigerator door and I started to look through the things that I know that I should be eating, I immediately had this very small voice inside telling me that, in reality, Renee, what would your life be like if you got stranded on a deserted island? And I started to think, that's right, and I started to have visions of, well, what would we be doing? We'd be so afraid, number one, of starving and not knowing where to find the food. I immediately saw myself, just in tears and throwing myself on the beach and crying out, God, please provide food for me. Help me find food. And then as I was very quiet, I heard that very small, still voice inside me guiding me along the path that God would have me walk. And as I was starting to walk, I was, oh, wow, beautiful vegetables and beautiful fruit. And as I gazed over at the beach and I looked out at the ocean and I thought, wow, there's a whole ocean of fish, that will probably nourish and feed my hunger. And so I started to think again, God, thank you for providing the food for me to eat. So isn't it so that, again, it's the process of man that is destroying the way that we think about food and the way that we look at food? Think about the many, many foods that probably didn't even exist 100 years ago that you and I are putting in our body every day. And so, actually, I start to humor myself. Humor is actually a great tool. My mother used to say, that anything challenged in life, if we can challenge it with a sense of humor, we'd be much better off. And so, I started to hear, my selfish being, oh, cookie, being the cookie monster, give me cookie, right? And so, I thought to myself, well, hey, thank God, Renee, you weren't born the cookie monster. So that's my message for today. And, if you want to continue to hear this message, click on the link below and go visit my blog. And happy, healthy eating to you, and God bless. And remember, When you start to feel deprived, acknowledge the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge His ways in all that you do and everything that we put in our mouth, and He will make our path straight. And God bless.